All right, hey guys, welcome to our fourth edition of Hey Guys Inventor. We're going to continue to move through some of the parts that we need for PLTW. This time we're finally going to make a part that we may end up using down the road in our Project Leads the Way IED class, and we're going to make the cam for our automata. All right, so I'm going to go to New, make sure I have English, Standard Part, File, and Create. All right, so we're making the cam. So the cam's going to introduce us to a couple of new tools. We're going to work on the XY plane again. This time we're going to use the arc tool. Sometimes I see some people that want to make this with the circle tool, but I really recommend that we use the arc tool. It's going to make it a little bit easier. Now you notice that all four of these tools right here, line, circle, arc, and rectangle, all have these little arrows underneath them. That indicates that there's more tools available for me there. So under arc, I have 3-point arc, which is what the default arc is in this case, where you start with the two endpoints and then you push out the third point. Tangent arc creates an arc tangent to another entity, or a center point arc. Center point arc is what I want. This way I can place the center point. You can place the center point right on the origin, click, and I can bring it out, and I'm just going to go ahead and bring it out, and I want to make a circle or arc that's a little bit more than a half circle. So I make that and I draw that around where I click to start and where I click to finish is where it's going to end up being, and I'm not really worried that it's not symmetrical at this point. And now since I have another tool, since I still have the arc tool, I'm going to go up here and I'm going to make another arc. This time I want to make one that's a little bit smaller and only about a half a circle, not more than a half a circle this time. All right, so now I have my two arcs right there. I'm going to let go of the arc tool. I'm going to grab a line tool, and I'm going to go ahead and click right on the end of that arc, and I'm going to go right to the end of that arc. And it looks good. And I'm going to come right to the end of this arc. You can see that it lights up like a little green ball. And right down to the end of that arc, and that looks good. All right, so let go of the line tool. Now I'm going to start to throw a couple of dimensions in here for a few things. First thing I'm going to dimension my center point to my center point. So my center point here is the origin. I can still see my center point there. I'm going to drag that out, double click on that, and that should be 1.75. And hit enter. Ooh, made it look crazy. All right, next thing I'm going to dimension is I'm going to dimension this arc right here. Click on that dimension, and that should be a radius, because it's an arc, of 1.25. Hit enter. And now lastly, I'm going to dimension this guy right here. Hopefully this brings this guy back into where it's supposed to be. It's only supposed to be 0.5. And it's looking better already. Now I'm going to add a couple of constraints in here. So let's first add a tangent constraint between the arc and this line, and that straightened things out. And then we're going to go to the line and this arc. I'm just going to keep working around the circle. So you can see what the tangent does is it kind of smooths that little area out. Press down on the center mouse wheel to pan. And now it looks like a nice little cam there. All right, a couple more things that I need to do. I have this dimension as far as its height, but you can see that this center is kind of shifted over a little bit. All right, so I'm going to go up here. I'm going to grab the vertical constraint, and I'm going to click on the origin. I'm going to click on this, and that's going to shift that over so that it lines up vertically, and that looks pretty good. Now, the last thing I need to add while I'm still in sketch mode here, let's go ahead and center it up on my drawing, is I'm going to then, let's let go of that constraint. I'm going to come over here to rectangle. And this time I'm going to hit the drop down menu. You can see there's a whole lot of different rectangles. So from polygons to slots to various types of rectangles. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this 2-point center rectangle. So with this particular tool, we're going to identify the center of the rectangle and then make our rectangle go out from there. So the rectangle itself is not touching that center point. That's going to be the center. And you can see the little construction lines, those dash lines or construction lines that show me the connection of the two diagonals, and that's the center point right there. All right, so with those dimensions highlighted, I'm going to go ahead and fill those in. So it's a pretty small square, so 0.125, tab over 0.125, oh, not 4, 5. Hit enter, and now I have my rectangle drawn. All right, so let go of that, and it's fully constrained because I made a coincident constraint when I started that center point rectangle right on the origin center point. So it's already locked in, it can't move, it's been dimensioned, it's all ready to go. So I'm going to finish this sketch. Can't really see what I'm looking at, so I'm going to back up a little bit. Going to go to extrude. Now I want to just extrude everything but that center square. That center square is going to actually be the hole that our axle will go through. So I don't want to extrude that. I want to extrude around it, and because Inventor recognizes this bigger space is what it wants to extrude, that's exactly what I want, but I don't want it to be 1 inch thick. I want it to be 0.125 thick. Hit enter, and now I have my cam. So save that as cam on your thumb drive if that's the way you're saving, and thanks for watching.